Hi everyone, my name is Lauren Sclair and this is my work story. My job is I work as a recreation facilitator in long-term care, specifically at Chelsea Park in London, Ontario. And my job basically means that I help create programs and implement them for the seniors in the long-term care facility. And basically my whole job is to improve the quality of life for the residents. It could just be something like playing bingo or sitting and talking with them, running larger programs, helping them go out into the community and interact with the community. And I think it's one of the best jobs anyone could have. I think the best or coolest part of my job is that I get to interact with seniors every day and learn their stories and just interact with them. They're amazing people. And I just love my job. I love going into my job. I think it's the best. But how I got started in this, you might ask. Well, when I started university, I was in a program called the Arts and Science program, which I basically started because I didn't know what I wanted to do. So my first year I took a psychology course, and although I liked it, I didn't really see myself getting a degree in it. But I started to look around and I saw that they have degrees in gerontology, which is the study of aging, and the more I researched it, the more I just thought, wow, this is really the degree for me. It'll let me work with the population that I really enjoy spending time with. So I went into that. I started my second year in gerontology. And just to make sure that I did like working with seniors, I actually signed up to volunteer at the mental health facility in Guelph. And that was with the horticultural therapist there. And I got a lot of good exposure to working with seniors, and also an exposure to a different job I didn't even know existed, which was to be a horticultural therapist, and I really liked that. And then in my final year of school, we were all required to do a placement. It was part of our degree program. We had to do a placement, 8 months long. I think it was like 2 days a week. And I was in a day program for people. I specifically worked in the part that was with people with Alzheimer's or related dementias. And I really enjoyed that. And it was like, cause kind of a smaller group, we'd have like 8 to 10 people, and we did basically programs, which is what I do now. And I really thoroughly enjoyed that. And after I graduated, they hired me on, and I was really fortunate. Now I was only part-time, and I had to have a second job working at the mall. So it was a lot of balancing, and I always imagined that I would somehow graduate and get that 9-to-5 job right away and working 40 hours a week, and I find that doesn't happen. You do have to, unfortunately, sometimes take those part-time jobs and just work at it. I then left and moved to London and started all over again and getting part-time jobs. It took a lot of searching. I had to go, I found that Monster Jobs or all those other sites didn't really have ones for healthcare. I had to go on things like charityvillage.com and stuff like that. That more had my kind of jobs listed there, and I found one part-time job, and I only worked 2 days a week and all that, and I just slowly, gradually worked into getting 2 part-time jobs. And just recently, after 3 years of working, I was able to let one of the part-time jobs go because I'd slowly worked with Chelsea Park, and I'm basically working a lot of hours, so I was allowed myself to quit that one job. Now the best advice I ever got when it comes to getting a job, actually my aunt gave me this great advice, and it is actually, if you have a job and you have a really good relationship with your manager, or you meet someone you have a really good relationship with, even if they're volunteering, that she suggests getting a written letter of reference from them, so that you always have it in there. Because what can happen is you might have a really good reference, but that person might move across the world, or what happened to her, she had a great reference and the person died and she didn't have the reference anymore, but she had this letter so that she could use at least a letter for a reference. And that really, I think, is really good advice, because when I moved, I didn't get a letter of reference for my first job, and I really wish I had, because I really did a good job there, spent a long time there, and I wish I'd done that. And that's now my policy. When I leave a place, they'll say, oh, can you just give me a reference letter? And most people are really good about it. And the best advice that I can give anybody when you're out there looking for a job is that, like I said, I thought, oh, I'm going to graduate and I'm going to get a 9-to-5 Monday to Friday job, and it's going to be in my field and it's going to be amazing, and It doesn't really happen like that for anybody. I've yet to meet a lot of people who didn't have to really take baby steps getting towards that Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, 40 hours a week job. It can be, you know, maybe you have to do an internship once a week and work as a waitress the rest of the time, and that's okay. And like me, I had to have 2 part-time jobs and work my way really at it, and 3 years later I finally kind of be able to have 1 job, and that's okay too. And I'm really hoping in the future that I actually want to be a horticultural therapist on top of being working in recreation with my gerontology degree. And my advice, another piece of advice, is that, you know, just remember that education never stops. Even though you graduate, you might find, not that you have to go back to university or college, but there might be courses out there that you can just take just to add on to your education. And just take advantage of those. If anything ever pops up and you think, oh, that's an interesting course, just go for it, because you never know where it's going to lead. And that's about it. Thanks. Bye.